Welcome back to another wonderful interview with Noisewire, and today we are speaking with Haunt Me, Darius. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Sorry, that was our second intro. So, you recently released your second full-length album, Watch You Bleed. With many of its songs first appearing as singles, how do you decide which tracks you want to put together for a full album?
That's a good question. So a lot of the songs that were on Watch You Bleed, they were released as singles a couple of years before the album came out. I think like how we did it was we listened to the singles and they fit a certain like vibe, I guess, like a certain theme and a certain sound, and we knew this. We wanted the second album, which is Watch You Bleed. We knew we wanted it to be that specific sound and like theme, and so we were like, we should just put these singles on the album and then like write based on those singles, if that makes sense. So like write an album based around those. Yeah,
that's really cool. A lot of people are doing like singles now over like full albums, and I kind of like it because then like every Bandcamp Friday you're getting something brand new rather than like always waiting and then you get the full album with like a couple more new songs on it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
You described Watch You Bleed as a vampire love story inspired by Bram Stoker. Can you walk us through how you crafted the narrative musically and how the songwriting process evolved as you developed the concept?
Yeah. So kind of like I said with the first question, I think when we started writing the second album, Watch You Bleed, we had already had a couple singles out, and I knew that I wanted the second album to be very vampiric and very like something you could listen to at a goth nightclub, and then also like something that conveyed like a vampire love story type of vibe, you know, more like on like the lustful, passionate side of things, and less on the, because our first album was very a lot more sad, I'd say, like love, like about love lost and stuff like that, and sadness. And so for this album, I wanted to change up the theme a little bit and go more towards like the romantic and like passionate side. Usually kind of like the honeymoon phase of a relationship when things are very hot and heavy. But yeah, with Bram Stoker's Dracula, I just felt like it was a perfect fit. And we actually used a movie quote from Bram Stoker's in one of our songs.
What quote is it?
It's not the one where it's like I've crossed oceans of time to find you, just because that's the most famous one, so we didn't want to be like basic per se.
Yeah, that's why I was curious. I'm thinking about it. I can't pick it out.
It's the one where he says the luckiest man is the one who finds true love.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I really loved that quote, so I was like,
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you've written lyrics in both English and Spanish. Are the themes or emotions that you feel more naturally expressed in Spanish, or like how do you decide what language you're going to use when you're writing a song?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, because I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to choose like which language I want to use like a certain song in. I think I just try to. I feel like with Spanish, I have the lyrics written first. Like I usually like will write like just songs in Spanish, like lyrics wise, and then if me and my bandmate, we write the music, and once the music's already written, then I'll like mess around with it in my head in terms of like the Spanish. Like I'll take a Spanish song and see if it'll fit the music, and if it doesn't, then I'll just like write in English. So it really just depends. But like because English is my main language, it's what I'm best at. Like it's a lot easier for me to come up with lyrics on the spot, whereas with Spanish, like I already have songs pre-written, if that makes sense.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about this a little bit. You're going to be playing at Absolution Fest in like an hour or something, which is cool. And your friend came to see you, who you teamed up with, this Chicago-based project, The Masqs, for your single Black Skirt.
Your black lips against my face, girl, I love the way you taste. I like the way you scream for me. The taste of your blood is like ecstasy.
How did that collaboration start, and how do you each shape that song?
Yeah, so the Masqs, actually, he reached out to me. His name's Joseph. Joseph reached out to me on Instagram is how it started, and he was just like, hey, like, just want to let you know I'm a big fan of you guys. I would love to like collaborate on a song and work with you if you guys are up for it.
Oh, and you're like, of course.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, that would be sick, actually. You know, I hadn't really, when he reached out to me, I hadn't really listened to his discography, to be honest. I definitely had heard the name and I'd seen the name on some stuff, but I'd never really delved deep into his discography. So I checked him out once he hit me up, and I was like, yeah, I really like this. It's a different sound, but it's different, but it works well still with our style. So I was like, yeah, dude, let's do it. So honestly, that's how it started, and then we just kind of bounce ideas off of each other with what we do, because we both have two different sounds, right? Two different styles, but it still works together. Like we could still fit on a build together and it work. So
no, it totally works. Does live performance have any impact on your studio work? Do you ever approach writing certain songs with like a live performance in mind?
Yeah, so I think so. I think more so now we do. Yeah, when I first started the band, I would just write songs that I thought sounded good, and like I'd never paid attention to like how's this going to sound live or how's it going to translate live. I would just write what I liked, and I think now at this stage in our career as a band, we definitely write more so like how's this going to sound live? How do we translate it to like the live performance? So yeah, lately more so, yeah, for sure.
How do you curate your live sets? Do you tailor the set list for specific shows? And are there songs you always feel like really just have to be included?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we definitely tailor our set list to specific shows. So like whenever we've been on tour with quite a bit of bands, and whenever we're on tour with like the more like darker, gothy, post-punk, dark wave bands, we tend to like fine-tune our set to be a little more on that side, a little more on the darker side of things. Whereas if we go on tour with like shoegaze or indie post-punk bands, we kind of tailor our set list to be more along the indie side of things.
That's really smart.
Yeah. And honestly, cool. It's cool that we can do that. Not a lot of bands have the range to be able to do that. Like all their songs are dark, or all their songs are like light. But we have like some songs that are very dark and some songs that are very like lighthearted and stuff. So I'm lucky that we can actually do that and tailor our set list to that. But as far as songs that we want every time to be on the set list, definitely there's like a couple. Like for sure, we always put "Watch You Bleed" on there. We always put "Please Stay," and yeah, honestly, like those two for sure, like are always on the set. "Filthy" also.
I just want to misbehave. I just want to be your slave. Oh, won't you control me? I want to get filthy.
Has a new instrument or piece of equipment ever pushed you to explore a new direction you might not have otherwise taken?
Yeah, so I think definitely when I like was first starting as a musician and just starting like with like songwriting and stuff, when I bought a keyboard or a synthesizer, I guess you could say, that really like is what started.
What was it?
A Juno. It's like I forgot what it's Juno DS, but there's different like years of it, right? But it's the most recent one. But yeah, it was just a Juno, and that like pushed me to like try different things on the synth more, because before that I would just do bass and guitar a lot. So yeah, definitely buying different instruments like pushes you to explore and try new sounds out, which is nice. Yeah,
that's great. So you're based in San Antonio, which is a city I love, and I have a lot of friends there, which is why I was so excited to talk to you. From the outside, it looks like there's a lot happening in post-punk and dark wave across South Texas. Are there any other South Texas bands you feel aligned with musically or personally?
Yeah. So yeah, like Texas has seems to be having like a boom in like the post-punk and dark wave scene, which is very, very nice and very awesome. Like the Texas scene is honestly really good, especially San Antonio and Houston. Like those two cities specifically have really good goth scenes, I'd say. But yeah, so we're friends with a good amount of bands in the scene, but two bands that I think we like are like really good friends with and I think align more with, I would say a lesser known band, but they're called Sucio. They're from Dallas. Very cool band. They mix a lot of like post-punk, alternative, and indie rock elements to it. I like them a lot. Definitely go check them out if you haven't. They're awesome. Sucio. It's a duo, a boy and a girl. They're awesome. And then I would say Night, the twins. I don't know if you've heard of Night before, but they're based out of Dallas. Actually, both of these bands are based out of Dallas, Texas. But Night, they're from Dallas, and they're two twin brothers, and they play like, it's kind of like more like synth pop kind of mixed with like some dark wave and indie.
That's what they say Sleek Teeth is, synth pop, and I hear the EBM, so I
agree. We played with Sleek Teeth in Vegas, actually, and I definitely would say they're more EBM.
You just won a marital argument for me. Thank you.
No worries.
So Watch You Bleed's now released. What's the next creative focus for your band? Are you developing like a new story or direction that fans can look forward to?
Yeah, we're actually going to start working on our third album soon. And that one, you know, I don't really know what the story is going to be, if there's going to be per se like a specific story, but definitely I know the sound that we're going for is going to be a lot different than Watch You Bleed is. Not that we don't like that sound, we do, but we just try not to make the same album twice. So we're going to change it up a bit and do more like kind of like, I don't know how to say it, maybe like jangly, like jangle pop, indie kind of dark wave post-punk stuff.
Like synth pop.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but kind of like maybe like the Smiths and the Cure, but the Cure's like,
oh yeah, that'd be great.
The Cure's like poppy stuff, if that makes like Just Like Heaven kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Boys Don't Cry, that kind of vibe. Yeah.
But not quite Love Cats.
Yeah, no, not quite Love Cats,
you're not
for sure.
Really
for
go
sure.
too far.
Yeah, not too far, no, but yeah.
Okay, well, is there anything else you want to share? This should be out like in a few weeks after we post it. So you guys have any like tours coming up you want people to check out or?
Not yet. Actually, in January, we're going to be playing like a three show run in California.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Ventura, Berkeley, and oh man, I don't even remember the third date, but California. So be on the lookout for January, some dates in California for that to drop. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it a lot.
Of course. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I had a great time. Thank you.
You fall asleep in your lover's arms. Your soul sucked through the TV screen. You fall asleep while horror plays on TV. Now you're in the movie scenes. Welcome to your new reality.